Any questions for Jeff Brom of the XFL?
No. Why does Florida State hate me so much?
Well, let me answer that question by asking you two questions. One, is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. Two, do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
It's spooky season, Scott.
Spooky
season. And I had a thought because I want to get into some more things as we're getting closer.
Okay.
Yeah. I said it. I want to get into more things as we get closer to Halloween, where it's going to be, we're going to talk plenty of horror movie talk. We're going to have Travis Byram on for Ricks versus Gricks in a week to talk about horror movies and some scary figures. Hopefully next Sunday, Hangover can do like a little draft there. But I had a thought about scary movies that aren't scary movies, because we were talking about Terrifier. That's obviously a horror film, but there was somewhere where they were talking about movies that have traumatized you that had nothing to do with horror. They might not have had anything to do traumatically, right? But they just hit you the right way when you were a kid, and it made me think about my dad. My dad always talked about The Wizard of Oz this way. We have the Wicked coming out in a month, and it's going to reopen. It would, reopen a lot of those wounds if he were still around, because this is a man who was terrified of The Wizard of Oz. Would not watch it. If I turned it on, he'd walk out of the room casually, not, afraid, but casually walk away from everything and not be seen again. It was because the Wicked Witch and the Flying Monkeys terrified him as a child, and it traumatized him, and it stuck with him for a long time. So I got to thinking, what are some movies that aren't scary movies that are the scariest fucking things that we know? And I came up with a top 5 list for you. We have a top 5 list on the Sunday Hangover, Scott. It's really back. The Hangover is back. Oh, happy day.
I wasn't prepared.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the 323's Top 5.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Ah, shit. Here we go again. That's right. We have the top 5 scariest non-scary movies that Scott wasn't prepared for. But I'm giving him time to just think about what I've, what I'm throwing out here, and maybe they hit for him. Maybe he has some that he realizes have unlocked a trauma in him. And I'm going to start here with just straight up at number 5. I don't have any OLIs. Wizard of Oz could be one, but I kind of like the Flying Monkeys. They were silly looking. The Oompa Loompas actually freaked me out a little bit more than anything with the Wizard of Oz. But number 5 for me on the scariest movies that isn't a scary movie, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 scared me as a child with Doc Ock, Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus, who, when he first was like transforming into the villain, right? The tentacles are connecting to him. They're doing surgery to try and remove the tentacles from him after the accident, but the tentacles have become sentient, and they're now artificially intelligent, and they just go on a killing spree throughout the ER and taking out all the doctors, all the nurses, all the surgeons. And it was filmed with such like horror precision, no music behind it, just noises that just stick with you, scraping noises, screams. And the whole movie and the whole trilogy was directed by Sam Raimi, who is one of the noted greatest horror directors of all time. And did the Evil Dead. Like the dude knows suspense, dude knows horror, and he would throw it into every Spider-Man movie just a little bit, and it freaked me the hell out. I did not want to see that movie for a long time. Now I love it, I adore it, but I still like tense up a little bit when I know that scene's about to start. So that's number 5 for me on this list. Number 4, definitely one that I don't think most people will consider, but I do think it's a scary, non-scary movie. That is No Country for Old Men. It is a modern-day Western. It was made by the Coen brothers, and film star Tommy Lee Jones, Josh Brolin, and Javier Bardem won an Oscar for the movie for playing this villain, Anton Chigurh, who Luis Martinez, he did an awesome impression of him. Don't think that we can find it at the moment, but he did an awesome impression of the guy. Would you like to flip a coin? And he's this supernatural presence, basically, that just keeps appearing. Like, he's a hitman, but you can't fucking kill him. He just appears like Michael Myers all over the place. He plays with fate. Even every aspect of the movie, I would say, plays to horror movie motifs better than most horror movies, where you have this guy, Josh Brolin's character, who is reaching for something that he can't attain, but it's greater than him. This power, it's basically money that the cartel left, but he's reaching for this. He attains it, and now is being hunted not only by gangs, but this otherworldly hitman in Anton Chigurh. It was a scary, suspenseful, modern Western film. That's number 4 for me. Number 3 is something that hits deep kind of psychologically and more towards the future, and that is a movie that most people would never think of and probably a lot haven't seen, and I don't recommend it. It's not the most entertaining movie. The Father. This movie stars Anthony Hopkins. He won an Oscar for it a couple of years ago, and he was noted. He won the Oscar over Chadwick Boseman, who was, projected to maybe win it posthumously. It was right after he died. But Anthony Hopkins won this, and it's about a guy who is starting to fall into Alzheimer's. And it's kind of showing it from his perspective. And it's not only like terrifying to me, as anybody could think about their parents maybe falling into Alzheimer's or beginning this, and seeing Olivia Colman's character kind of go through the waves of it, but also the thought of Alzheimer's and just kind of becoming a prisoner of your mind and watching it play out on film and watching him just devolve throughout. It was horrifying. It's scary. It's terrifying. It is definitely number 3 scariest non-scary movie of all time for me. The Oscar-winning The Father. Number 2, you want to get more obscure? I'm going to throw this one out, and it's reached all of my fears. It's a movie called Threads. Now, this movie was released in 1984 on BBC. It was a British film. It was a TV film, but it still counts on this. And it's about like 2 families in a hypothetical nuclear war. This is how Threads goes. It's about just like how the World War starts, how World War III begins, and then the nukes go, and then it shows the immediate apocalypse. It shows the immediate fallout from it, and then keeps chronicling it for years and showing how god-awful and hell on earth it would really be from a nuclear war, and just how easy it is for it to launch. Just how easy it is for this all to begin just because we have nukes. I have been terrified of nuclear bombs, of nuclear weapons, of nuclear war ever since. I think about it occasionally. I'll have a little dream, and then I'll fall down a spiral in the morning, if you want to get deep down my psyche. And I know the exact radius of a nuclear bomb hitting DC and how far it would reach out to Fredericksburg. I'm terrified of this shit. And Threads did not help. It is a horrifying movie, but I also highly recommend people to watch it just to get a sense of how dangerous this shit is and to be aware of it. Oppenheimer kind of does the trick a little bit too towards the end of the latter half of that movie, but it does not get close to number 1. No, the threat of nuclear war does not touch my number 1 scariest non-scary movie of all time, which is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
The boat scene?
The boat scene. Yeah, the boat scene was horrifying.
That was my number 1.
But also, it's just murdering children throughout.
Hey.
They're killing children. You
can't prove it.
You ever see them again?
You never not see them again.
If you don't see them, they're done for, like mentally. Like they're traumatized.
I will not stand for the Willy Wonka blasphemy. That is my number one favorite movie of all time. It's my most favorite comfort movie. I'll put that on every day of the week. And I will not stand for the spitting on the coffin of Gene Wilder right now.
Well, here's the thing. I will not say that it's a bad or a terrifying, like it's not. I'm going to watch it. I love Gene Wilder singing what is it? The Imagination Song. I'm continuing to disrespect this movie by not even getting the song name right. But, between that, Charlie's fucking grandparents who are just mooching at that point, they're all sleeping in the same beds there. And then as soon as they get the golden ticket, they're like, well, look at that. I can walk. I can fucking tap dance now. It's just a traumatic movie for children. It's a lesson to don't be a dick as a child. If you do, we're gonna literally inflate you and throw you into the sky, and you won't be seen from again.
Well, I guess I'll delete that off my list. As you've been rattling off all yours, I've been diving into the deep recesses of my brain, trying to figure out scenes or characters or things that always just gave me the icky wicky creeps. That's not an actual scary movie. And I will see your Willy Wonka blasphemy, and I will raise you Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the scene when Veruca Salt gets mauled by those squirrels.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna start. I don't have these in any particular order. James and the Giant Peach, the monster, the movie itself. It's claymation. I guess just Tim Burton just has that vibe. I'm pretty sure that's Tim Burton who did that one. But the big rhino cloud, I can remember as a little kid, that one will always just freak the hell out of me. Another deep pull, The Great Mouse Detective, in the end scene with Ratigan. It's like a whole Sherlock Holmes with mice, and it's that end scene with Ratigan. They're having that fight on Big Ben, and he just turns into a feral animal, and that one always creeped me out.
Oh yeah.
Green Mile.
Yep.
Green Mile, specifically the scene of John Coffey when the flies come out of his mouth, like after he just takes the sickness away from the wife.
That was a crazy movie.
Yeah,
Stephen King novel too, so it kind of fits in there a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of gave it because I don't want to consider that a scary movie.
No,
it's definitely like a suspenseful one. But one that Billy Madison. The singing clown at the end of it, when he's having that whole hurrah moment, and he's gonna go back to school, and you see the singing clown, and he falls on the pavement because he's on stilts, and they just have him play with blood coming out of his mouth. And I can remember watching that for the first time. I was like, well, that's not good. Honorable mention, the bee scene from My Girl.
Oh yeah.
With Macaulay Culkin. That made me terrified of bees to this day. He can't see without his glasses.
Can't see without its glasses.
Number one, when you said scary, top 5 scaries with not a scary movie, this is the first thing that popped in my head. From the Muppets Christmas Carol, The Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yes.
To this day, just creeps me the fuck out.
Christmas Carol is a particularly terrifying tale, right? Like just the whole aspect of it, no matter how it's portrayed, one of the ghosts is always creepy, and the Muppets managed to get that completely right. That might be the greatest adaptation of it, to be honest.
And you know what? We're gonna have to get Travis Byram on the show so I can try to digest this a little bit with the cinephile that he is, and you and Zoo. I think I can pinpoint the moment that this world's just gone to shit. We stopped making Muppet movies.
You're 100% right.
Why can't we get like a Muppet John Wick?
Oh,
have Keanu Reeves still be John Wick, but have Muppets around him?
When was the last Muppet movie? I remember the one with Jason Segel.
That was the Muppet movie.
Yeah,
I don't know, probably Treasure Island or something like that.
Yeah, that is our problem. You're right. You're 100% right. We need more adaptation.
Yeah, so the Muppets. Okay, so there's the Muppet movie from the '79, and then Muppets in Manhattan. The Christmas Carol came out in the early '90s. The Muppets Treasure Island came out in the mid-90s. Muppets in Space, Muppet Christmas Show, Muppets Wizard of Oz was early 2000s. And then ever since then, it's been nothing. Give us another Muppets movie.
I would love that. Muppets John Wick movie would be the Muppets versus John Wick would be.
Can we do a top 5 movies that should be Muppets?
Oh, that's a good one to do.
Do a Muppets Get Out.
Oh. The fucking
Shawshank
Muppet.
Redemption Muppets.
Grover as Oppenheimer.
Oh no! No!
Oh, there's so many good options. Oh man, Muppet Stephen King adaptations, just a series of
Just a
anthologies.
whole series of Stephen King.
Yeah,
Muppets.
just like The Shining with Muppets.
Cujo with Muppets, and you just keep the dog. Everyone's Muppets, but the dog.
Right. That stays the same every time. Just weird celebrity interactions in the middle of all of these.
Who do we need to ask for this? What production company has the rights to the Muppets?
It's got to be Disney, right? I think it's Disney. I remember Disney screwed over in a particularly big way with the Muppets because they had a Muppets TV show that was going to be on ABC. It was like a mockumentary show, and it was supposed to be like in the style of 30 Rock, and that would have been so damn good. But they didn't go through with it. What do we have?
I've got it. Okay. You know how Hollywood is just idea bankrupt right now? They keep just remaking movies and things like that.
Correct.
You know how Disney has been trying to make the live action movies a thing? Why don't they just make all the Disney films into Muppet movies, like Aladdin into Muppets?
You broke it. You just got it. This guy gets it. Get him into Hollywood. I like that. That's how they should be doing it because it's so fucking controversial no matter what you do with these Disney live action remakes. You can't get mad. Look, you can get mad at Rachel Zegler playing Snow White, but you can't get mad at fucking the pig, Miss Piggy, playing Snow White.
Right.
It's easy.
I want to live in a world where they do a live action remake of Hercules with Danny DeVito as Phil and then nothing else but Muppets.
Right. Oh my
God. That's what I want.
It's so great.
Hercules Muppets with Danny DeVito.
Beauty and the Beast with Monster. Like it's that easy.
It writes itself.
Shout out to the Muppets. The Muppets, this is what the Sunday Hangover is all about, folks. This is why you need this every week.